हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, आप सभी का स्वागत है एनालिस्ट आईएएस के यूट्यूब चैनल पे। तो आज ब्रिज सीरीज में वील बी डिस्कसिंग पॉलिटी एमसीक्यूज व्हिच केम इन प्रीलिम्स 2017. So total number of questions which came that year were 19 questions. We'll discuss all of them. So let's start. Question 1. One of the implications of equality in the society is the absence of privileges, restraint, competition or ideology. Pause the video, try to answer. Now let's see the answer. So your correct answer to this is A. It's privilege. Equality in a society is the absence of privileges for anyone, and Article 7 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights states that all are equal before the law and are entitled without any discrimination to equal protection of law. Question second, consider the following statements. With reference to the Constitution of India, the directive principles of state policy constitute limitations upon legislative function or the executive function. Which of the above statements is the correct? Pause the video, try to attempt. Now let's see the answer. So your correct answer to this is D, which is neither one neither two. Fundamental right act as limitations on legislative and executive functions, not DPSPs. They are just a set of guidance for welfare of the people to the states. So your correct answer is D. Third, with reference to the Parliament of India, consider the following statements. A private member's bill is a bill presented by a member of the Parliament who is not elected but only nominated by the President of India. A private member's bill has been passed in the Parliament for the first time in its history. Which of the statements given is are correct? Pause the video, try to attempt it. Now let's see the answer. So your correct answer to this should be D. Your correct answer is D. Because a private member's bill is presented by a member of parliament who is not a minister. That is a private member's bill. 1 month prior notice is required. It is generally given on the Fridays. It is generally proposed by the opposition party and all. And this is a very extreme statement for the first time. So you can eliminate both of them. Your answer is D. Question 4. The Parliament of India exercises control over the functions of the Council of Ministers through adjournment motion. Question R, supplementary question. Select the correct answer using the code given below. Pause the video, try to attempt. Now let's see the answer. So the correct answer to this is D, which is 1, 2, 3. All are correct. Indian Parliament exercises control over the Council of Ministers through adjournment motion, no confidence in the government, discussions, question R, etc. Supplementary questions are asked in the question R. D. Now, question number 5. The mind of the makers of the Constitution of India is reflected in which of the following? The preamble, the fundamental rights, the DPSPs, or the fundamental duties? Pause the video, try to answer. Now, let's see the answer. So, your correct answer to this is A. It is preamble. According to the Lakshmikant, the preamble to our Constitution expresses what we had thought or dreamt so long. Moreover, it was given by Sir Aladi Krishnaswamy Iyer, who was a member of the Constituent Assembly. So this reflects, preamble generally reflects about the constitution and the mind makers. Question 6. The main advantage of the parliamentary form of government is that the executive and legislature work independently. B. It provides continuity of policy and is more efficient. C. The executive remains responsible to the legislature. D. The head of the government cannot be changed without election. Pause the video, try to attempt it. Now let's see the answer. So your correct answer to this is C. The main advantage of parliamentary form of government is that the executive is responsible to the legislature and legislator sits in the parliament. So this is the main advantage to this. This was an easy question, and if you have read class 11th NCERT, so you could have attempted it correctly. Question 7. In the context of India, which of the following is the correct relationship between rights and the duties? Rights are correlative with duties. Rights are personal and hence independent of society and duties. Rights, not duties, are important for advancement of personality of a citizen. Duties, not rights, are important for the stability of the state. Pause the video, try to answer. Now let's see the correct answer. So the correct answer to this is A, that rights are basically correlative with the duties. This is what rights are. This is the correct relationship between both. It was a factual question. Let's move to question number 8. Democracy's superior virtue lies in the fact that it calls into activity the intelligence and character of ordinary men and women. The methods of strengthening executive leadership are superior individual with dynamism and vision, a band of dedicated party workers. What is the democracy's superior virtue lies in the fact? Pause the video, try to answer. Now let's see the answer. So the correct answer to this is A. Democracy is an ideal based on the idea of consent of the people. Since a democracy requires decision making by the people or the voters, the process involves people's intelligence and character of the ordinary men. A. Question 9. Which one of the following objectives is not embodied in the preamble of the Constitution of India? First, liberty of thought. Economic liberty, liberty of expression. D. Liberty of belief. Pause the video, try to attempt it. Now let's see the answer. So your correct answer to this is B is your correct answer, because in preamble it is stated that liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship. There is no economic liberty enshrined in it. So your correct answer is B is your incorrect statement. Question 10. Which one of the following is not a feature of the Indian federalism? There is an independent judiciary in India. This is about federalism. Powers have been clearly divided between the center and the states. The federating units have been given equal representation in the Rajya Sabha. It is the result of agreement among the federating units. Pause the video, try to answer. Now let's see the answer. So correct answer to this is D. The Indian Federation is not the result of such agreement, unlike the American Federation. It is the result of agreement among the Indian Federation unit. It is not a feature. Rest are the other features for the Indian federalism. Question 11. Out of the following statements, choose the one that brings out the principle underlying the cabinet form of government. An arrangement of minimizing criticism against the government whose responsibilities are complex and hard to carry out to satisfaction of all. B. A mechanism of speeding up the activities of government whose responsibilities are increasing day by day. C. A mechanism of parliamentary democracy for ensuring collective responsibility of government to the people. D. A device for strengthening the hands of the head of the government whose hold over the people is in state of decline. Pause the video, try to answer. Now let's see the answer. So the correct answer to this is C. That a cabinet form of government is one in which the real executive power rests with a cabinet of ministers who are individually and collectively responsible to the Lok Sabha or the House or the legislature, which in turn is responsible to the people who elect them. Collective responsibility means that all ministers are bound by a collective decisions which are made by the cabinet. So your correct answer to this is C. Collective responsibility. Question number 12. Which of the following statements are true for the fundamental duties of an Indian citizen? A legislative process has been provided to enforce these duties. B. They are correlative to legal duties. Select the correct answer using the code given below. Pause the video, try to answer. Now let's see the answer. So the correct answer to this is D. Neither one, neither two. There is no legislative process to enforce the citizens to do their duties. These are enshrined in 51A in the part 4A of the Constitution. The legal duty is one which is required to be carried out as per the law. So there is no correlation between legal duties and the fundamental duties. Your answer is D. Question 13. Which of the following are envisaged by the right against exploitation in the Constitution of India? First, prohibition of traffic in the human beings and forced labor. B. Abolition of untouchability. Third, protection of interest of minorities. Fourth, protection of employment of children in the factories and the mines. Select the correct answer using the code given below. Pause the video, try to attempt it. Now let's see the answer. So your correct answer to this is C, which is the answer can be obtained from the classification of fundamental rights, which is 1 and 4 only. Prohibition of human trafficking and labor force. Article 23 and 24. Okay, prohibition of children in the factories and the mine. These are against exploitation. So your answer is C. Question 14. Which of the following are not necessarily the consequences of the proclamation of President's rule in the state? Dissolution of the state legislative assembly. Second, removal of the council of ministers in the state. Third, dissolution of local bodies. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. Pause the video, try to attempt it. Now let's see the answer. So your correct answer to this is B, but it is a factual information. And second is removal of council of ministers in the state. This is not necessarily the consequences of the presidential rule. You can eliminate this one. It does not remove the council of ministers. By elimination of second, you get your answer is B. 15. Right to vote and to be elected in India is a fundamental right. Is it a natural right? Is it a constitutional right? Or it is a legal right? Pause the video, try to answer. Now let's see the answer. So the correct answer to this is C. It's not a fundamental right. It's not a natural right. It's not even legal right. It is a constitutional right given by a constitution. So it's enshrined in it is written in the class 9 history textbook. in the chapter Democratic Politics that right to vote in elections is an important constitutional right. And the textbook of 11 says what is the true right to vote is also the true right to contest the election. So these two statements are there. Your correct answer is C. It is a constitutional right. 16. In India, judicial review implies the power of judiciary to pronounce upon the constitutionality of laws and executive orders, the power of judiciary to question the wisdom of the laws enacted by the legislature, the power of judiciary to review all legislative enactments before they are ascended by the president, the power of judiciary to review its own judgments given earlier in similar or different cases. Pause the video, try to answer. Now let's see the answer. So your correct answer to this is A. Constitution at work on the judiciary gives the line, judicial review means the power of Supreme Court or High Court to examine the constitutionality of any law. This is what judicial review implies. Question 7. Consider the following statements. The Election Commission of India is a 5-member body. The Union Minister of Home Affairs decides the election schedule for conduct of both general and by-elections. Election Commission resolves the disputes relating to the splits, mergers of the recognized political parties. Pause the video, try to answer. Now let's see the answer. So your correct answer to this is D, as it is not a 5-member body, it is a 3-member body. One chief election commissioner and other 2 election commissioners are also there. And moreover, election commissioner basically decide, and this commission decides for the schedule of a general election by election. So these both statements are wrong. Your third statement is right. Your correct answer is D. Question 18. Consider the following statements. In the election of the Lok Sabha or the State Assembly, the winning candidate must get at least 50% of the votes polled to be declared elected. According to the provisions laid down in the Constitution of India and the Lok Sabha, the speaker's post goes to the majority party and the deputy speakers to the opposition party. Pause the video, try to answer. Now let's see the answer. So your correct answer to this is D. It is a very extreme statement. It is not the condition. 50% votes to be declared as elected. And the second one, these are not laid down in the constitution that speaker goes to the majority or deputy goes to the opposition. Deputy can, that post of the deputy speaker can go to the opposition, majority party, or any other person as well. So your answer is D, who is a member of the House or Lok Sabha. Question 19 and the last question of today's session. For the election to the Lok Sabha, a nomination paper can be filed by anyone who is residing in India, a resident of the constituency from which the election is to be contested, any citizen of India whose name appears in the electoral roll of the constituency, any citizen of India. Pause the video, try to answer. Now let's see the answer. So your correct answer to this is C, which is anyone residing in India. No, not anyone can say, because some foreign illegal persons also they reside in India. Second statement, resident of constituency from which, no, a person from other constituency can file nomination paper from a different constituency as well. And any citizen of India, it's not also correct. NRIs also, overseas citizens are also citizens of India. So this is also wrong. Your correct answer is any citizen of the law whose name appears in the electoral roll of a constituency, he is eligible for that. So this was all about today's video and session of the Bridge series. Thank you. Have a nice day and stay tuned with Analyst IAS for your better preparation.